You want a life that lasts? You want strength that doesn't shake? You want wealth, peace, power built on something that storms can't steal? Then forget the spotlight. Forget the performance. Forget the applause. And build your character. Because money without character is fragile. Success without character is a setup. And reputation without character? That's just borrowed time. You can fake skills. You can borrow confidence. You can project strength. But character? Character is the part no one sees until everything goes wrong. Character is what holds when the deals fall through. When the pressure rises, when your name is tested and your back is against the wall. It's the foundation beneath the goals. It's the spine behind your reputation. It's the thing that speaks when your mouth stays shut. Character doesn't yell. It doesn't market itself. It doesn't need hashtags or headlines. It moves in silence, but its impact echoes louder than anything else in your life. And here's the hard truth. You don't have character. You build it. Not once, but daily, deliberately, devoutly. In the moments where no one claps. In the decisions no one sees. In the habits that happen when the camera's off and the world isn't watching. You build it in how you treat people who can do nothing for you. In how you talk about others when they're not in the room. In how you keep your word when it's no longer convenient. And the people with real character, you can feel it. They're not loud. They're not flashy. They don't posture. They just walk differently. They carry weight. They walk into chaos and bring calm. They're unshakable not because life didn't try to break them, but because they chose values over vibes, standards over shortcuts, discipline over dopamine, because that's what character is made of. Choices repeated with integrity. Not just once, but until it becomes who you are. So if you want to build character that can't be broken, you must begin by confronting who you've been. You can't build unshakable character on top of shaky foundations. You must clean house. Face your inconsistencies. Own your excuses. Take responsibility for the version of you that got you here. And refuse to let that version lead the next chapter. You want strength? Then you must choose truth, brutal, honest, unforgiving truth. Truth about your habits. Truth about your boundaries. Truth about the lies you've told yourself to. Stay comfortable. Because the person you become when no one is keeping score, that's who you really are. And if that version isn't strong, isn't solid, isn't built on values so deep they shake the room, then it's time to rebuild. Brick by brick, standard by standard, line by line. And don't just build values you talk about. Build values you bleed. Values you won't compromise, no matter the offer, no matter the pressure, no matter the cost, because the world will test you. It will try to pull you into performance. It will tempt you to trade your integrity for influence, your truth for likes, your values for validation. But if your character is real, you don't move. You don't bend. You don't shrink. You don't chase approval from people who sold their own soul to get it. You build in the dark until your light is undeniable. You build so deep that even if they try to cancel you, copy you, or come for you, they can't crack what you built inside. Because here's the truth. Skill will open the door. Talent might get you in the room, but only character keeps you there. Character is what gets whispered when you leave the meeting. Character is what earns the unspoken trust. Character is what scales when charisma runs out. And when you finally understand that, you stop chasing attention and start chasing alignment. Alignment with your values, with your word, with your identity. Not the identity the world gave you, the one you forged through fire, the one that came from showing up when it was hard and staying when it would have been easy to quit. That's what builds unbreakable character. Because once you've laid the foundation of truth, you enter the real battlefield, the mind. Because character is not just built in action. It's built in thought. It's built in what you allow to live rent-free in your head. Because every belief you entertain, every fear you let whisper unchecked, Every excuse you repeat like a mantra is shaping you. You must master your internal world before you can lead anything external. You must stand guard over your thoughts like your legacy depends on it, because it does. You must reject every belief that tells you you're not ready, not worthy, not enough. Those are not your thoughts. They are inherited scripts, passed down from broken people, bitter teachers, and a culture addicted to conformity. Burn them. Replace them with a standard that only allows thoughts aligned with your character. Thoughts that build, not break. Thoughts that challenge, not coddle. Thoughts that forge the steel spine of a leader, not the soft shell of a victim. That's mindset. And mindset is the soil. If the soil is poisoned, nothing real can grow. But if the soil is fertile, if it's nourished by vision, watered by belief, lit by purpose, then character grows wild and unshakable. Purpose gives it direction. Discipline gives it structure. Gratitude gives it depth. Resilience gives it power. Because once you know why you're here, not the surface level answer, not the marketing tagline, but the deep burning truth of what you're called to do, everything changes. You stop negotiating your standards. You stop performing for the world. You stop compromising with the part of you that just wants comfort. Purpose gives you permission to be dangerous, not in a way that hurts others, but in a way that terrifies mediocrity. Because when you live with real purpose, you become immune to the lies that break most people. You don't fold when life punches back. You don't quit when the process stretches you. You grow fangs in the fire. Discipline is what keeps that fire focused. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is devotion to your future self. It's the daily ritual of saying, I may not feel like it, but I am still going to show up aligned with the character I'm building. It's the meal you skip, the show you decline, the comfort you trade, not because you hate yourself, but because you honor your future self. That's what discipline is. It's respect in action. And gratitude? Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is the superpower that keeps character anchored in reality. Gratitude grounds you. It reminds you, this didn't happen to me. I was trusted with this process. It keeps you from entitlement. It protects you from arrogance. It rewires your mind to recognize lessons, not just losses. A grateful person builds character that's rooted, not reactive, not boastful, not bitter, because they understand everything is working for me, even the pain, even the pressure, even the setbacks. And when all of this starts to align, your mindset, your purpose, your discipline, your gratitude, then comes the final, most sacred phase. Resilience. Not the fake kind, not the post-it note kind, not the type that screams I'm strong on Instagram, but crumbles the moment someone disapproves. Real resilience. The kind you earn, the kind that's tested, the kind that bleeds and still breathes, the kind that walks through fire on purpose. Resilience is what turns character from theory into reputation. It's what makes people trust your name before you speak. It's what makes rooms rise when you walk in. It's what allows you to lead with scars, not speeches. Because character that hasn't been tested is just theory. But character that's been through storms, character that's survived betrayal, delay, heartbreak, loneliness, failure, and came out clean, stronger, better aligned. That character can't be broken. And now you're no longer building to impress. You're building to endure. Then let's close this like fire. Because by now, you know this was never about image. This was never about chasing applause. This was about integrity in the dark, conviction in the pressure, identity forged so deep it cannot be moved by the winds of opinion or the storms of circumstance. You don't just want to succeed. You want to become unshakable. and not for show, for substance, so that when life breaks things around you, you remain, so that when the world changes, you stay rooted in who you are, so that when everything is tested, your name, your work, your worth, your character answers without flinching. You want to know who leads the next era? It's not the loud, not the viral, not the ones chasing clout. It's the ones you can trust in a storm. The ones whose energy doesn't spike with likes and drop with silence. The ones whose character was built under pressure and passed every test quietly. The world will forget noise, but it never forgets integrity. It never forgets the person who showed up when others ghosted, who honored their word when it stopped being easy, who built something sacred in a world addicted to shortcuts. That person, they become immortal, not through fame, but through legacy. And legacy isn't a brand. It's a body of work. It's a spirit. It's the echo your life leaves when your voice is gone. And that echo is shaped by character. So from this moment forward, build it like it matters. Build it like it's eternal. Build it like every decision is a brick in the monument of your name. Because one day, they will ask, how did you rise when others fell? How did you stay steady in chaos? How did you hold your center in a world that kept shifting? And you won't say luck. You won't say charm. You'll look them in the eye and say, I built character that couldn't be broken. I chose values over noise. I chose truth over trends. And I never gave the world what I wouldn't first give myself. Excellence, honor, and discipline. So go. Live like your name means something. Lead like your life is the lesson. And stand like a monument of unbreakable character in a world that desperately needs something real again. Because in the end, it was never about how high you climbed. It was always about how deep you were willing to build. There is no neutral ground. Every single day, you are either writing your story or being written into someone else's. There's no standing still. There's no middle lane. Life is happening with or without your permission. And if you don't rise up and decide who you are, where you're going, and what you're building, someone else will decide for you. The system already has a plan. It's written in deadlines that aren't yours, in goals that don't fulfill you, in rules that shrink your soul. And if you're not awakefully awake, you'll slip into it like a suit that doesn't fit and wear it like it was meant for you. But deep down, you'll know that this life doesn't feel like it's yours. That this job, this path, this rhythm, it's scripted. It's safe. It's survivable. But it is not yours. And if you don't break that cycle, it will bury your potential. Not in one blow, but in tiny, comfortable compromises. The meetings you didn't say no to. The dreams you kept putting off. The calendar you filled with everything but your own soul's work. And then one day you look up and wonder, how did I get here? The answer? You didn't choose. You drifted. Because drifting is easy. It's rewarded. It looks responsible, but it's just dressed up delay. And let me tell you something, most people won't. If you don't wake up every single day with a plan for your life, you will be pulled into someone else's. And here's what they have planned for you. Not much. Maybe a role, maybe a number, maybe a salary, but not your legacy, not your destiny, not your truth. Because those things must be built deliberately, brick by brick, with sweat, with silence, with intention. No one will hand you your dream life in a meeting. You won't find it on a job board. You won't be promoted into your purpose. You have to plan it, design it, define it so clearly that the world can no longer offer you anything that doesn't match it. That starts in the mind. You need a mindset that is not reactive, but sovereign. A mindset that doesn't check the temperature of the day before deciding to show up. A mindset that no longer takes orders from fear or trends or other people's expectations. Because mindset is where all movement begins. You don't get clarity from waiting. You get clarity from choosing to lead. And when your mindset shifts, so does everything else. You begin to see that belief is not a luxury. It's a requirement. You must believe in your own authority to craft your life. You must believe that your ideas have weight, that your preferences matter, that your vision is not just valid, it's non-negotiable. Without that belief, you'll keep handing over the pen to bosses, to partners, to algorithms, to people who have no idea what you were born to do, but are more than happy to write your role into their plot. Belief is what makes you impossible to manipulate. When you know who you are, you become dangerous to systems built on conformity. And from belief flows clarity, real clarity. Not just what you want to do, but who you want to become. Because when you get clear on your identity, you stop trying to fit in where you were never meant to stay. You stop asking, how do I make this work? And start asking, what is this costing me? Clarity exposes the compromises. It reveals the hours spent building someone else's dream while yours sits untouched. It reveals the meetings that drain you, the people who don't get you, the goals that aren't yours. And from clarity comes vision, not a wish list, not a Pinterest board, but a vivid, defined, gut-level knowing of what your life must become. So strong you can feel it in your bones. So loud it drowns out the noise. Vision that says, this is where I'm going. And anything that doesn't align, it's gone. That kind of vision makes you magnetic. It makes you immovable. It makes you inevitable. But it only becomes real when you pair it with discipline. Discipline is the structure that holds the dream in place. Without it, your vision is just fantasy. With it, your vision becomes inevitable. Discipline says, I choose me, even when no one claps, even when no one sees, even when it's hard and quiet and slow. Discipline says, my goals are not negotiable. My standards are not suggestions. And my dream does not exist to fit someone else's timeline. You show up not because it's easy, but because it's yours. And when you combine belief, clarity, vision, and discipline, you reclaim something sacred, your time, because time is the most valuable thing you own. And every second you don't spend building your dream is a second spent building someone else's. And when you understand the value of time, truly feel it deep in your bones, you begin to treat your life like what it is, non-refundable. You stop giving your best hours to meaningless meetings. You stop saying yes to plans that don't serve your mission. You stop living on someone else's schedule and start honoring your divine urgency, because life doesn't wait and legacy doesn't build itself. You begin to move with gratitude, not the soft, casual kind, but the kind that says, every hour I get is a privilege. Every breath is a resource, and I refuse to waste them living someone else's dream. Gratitude grounds you. It reminds you that you're already equipped, that you're not starting from nothing. You're starting from enough. And from that rooted place, you become adaptable, because life will test your plans. It will throw punches. It will shift timelines. But if your character is intact, if your clarity is real, you won't break. You'll adjust. You'll bend without folding. You'll pivot without panicking, because your mission isn't attached to method. Your purpose isn't bound to comfort. You're not here to be flexible in your standards, only flexible in your strategy. That's real resilience, not bouncing back, but bouncing forward, transforming setbacks into stepping stones, using failure as a forge, not a finish line. And every time you rise again, you become stronger, smarter, sharper, wiser, because you're learning, not just about the world, but about yourself. Learning that you don't need all the answers. You just need the conviction to keep asking better questions. Learning that feedback isn't failure. It's refinement. It's clarity. It's the raw material of growth. And with every lesson, you get more dangerous, more aligned, more unstoppable, because now you are living on purpose, not reacting architecting, not waiting waking, not hoping building. And the people around you will feel it. Your standards will speak before you do. Your energy will shift rooms. Your consistency will earn you access. Your vision will inspire others to ask themselves, whose plan am I living? Because once you've tasted a life that's truly yours, you can never go back. You become allergic to small talk, to shallow goals, to environments that dilute you. You protect your time like treasure. You protect your mind like a fortress. You protect your soul like it's the blueprint of something eternal. And now, you don't just have a plan, you are the plan. You walk like it. You speak like it. You live like it. With intention, with precision, with fire. Because if you don't plan your life, someone else will use you in theirs. And now, you're done being used. You're done being driftwood. You're done being a background character in someone else's story. You are the author. You are the leader. You are the architect. And from this moment forward, you live like it. Then hear this, not as advice, but as a call to arms. Because your life is not a rehearsal. This is it. This is the show. And the curtain is already rising. No more postponing your greatness. No more editing your dreams to fit someone else's comfort. No more sleepwalking through a life that doesn't belong to you. You don't need more time. You don't need more approval. You don't need more signs. You just need one thing, ownership. The quiet, relentless, powerful decision to say, this life is mine. Every hour, every choice, every breath, mine. And because it's mine, I will no longer give away my calendar, my confidence, or my calling to people who didn't earn it. I will no longer confuse distraction with duty. I will no longer mistake busy for a line. I will no longer chase what looks good and abandon what feels right. From this moment forward, I rise on purpose. I move with intent. I walk like the architect of something that outlives me. I write my days in ink, not pencil. I protect my peace like an empire. And I guard my dream like it already changed the world. Because the truth is brutal but simple. If you don't plan your life, someone else will use you in theirs. And when that happens, you don't just lose time, you lose yourself. But not anymore. Not you. Not now. You are done renting your life out by the hour. You are done living from the outside in. You are done mistaking existence for impact. Now, you live like a blueprint in motion, a plan in human form, a purpose with a pulse. And when they ask, who gave you permission to live this boldly? You'll answer without flinching, I did, because I stopped living inside their story and started writing my own. Now go, write it, live it, be it. Because once you step into that authority, once you stop waiting for life to choose you and you start choosing yourself, you awaken a force inside you that nothing outside of you can stop. You no longer respond to pressure. You create it. You no longer fit into plans. You command the blueprint. You no longer ask, what if I fail? Instead, you declare, what if I don't show up and the world misses what only I could bring? Because this isn't just about your goals. This is about your impact. This is about every person your courage will unlock. Every generation your discipline will influence. Every room your alignment will shift. You are not just living your life. You are leading by example. And every time you say yes to your own plan, you give silent permission for others to rise. So live bold, live, structured, live tuned to your highest frequency. Not someday, but now. Not when it's convenient, but especially when it's hard. Not when it's safe, but especially when it feels uncertain. That's how you claim your freedom. That's how you leave a mark. That's how you rise from average to aligned, from passive to powerful, from surviving to sovereign. And if anyone asks how you built all this, how you created a life that reflects your deepest truth, you'll look them in the eye and say, I planned it relentlessly, religiously, because no one was ever going to hand it to me. So I stopped waiting. I designed it. I protected it. And I never let the world write my story again. And that is how legacies are born. Not by chance, but by choice. By people who had the audacity to plan their own lives when everyone else was handing theirs away.